I'm Caroline, and I'm prepared, honestly.
And I am too. Well, the fact that we're a bit startled by the camera proves one thing. This is a live show.
Yes, definitely live.
Yes, and like last week, which was a not live show, this is live, honest. This is her, this is me.
We're really here.
Yes.
We were discussing the width on cupboards.
Yes.
I looked to a cupboard over there and I said, that would fit in the gap I've got. And then suddenly you're like, oh no, we're on.
That's right, we've got 8 seconds to go.
Oh, Jeff. Thank you, Jeff.
You are so kind, Jeff.
£10 super chat
so
from Jeff.
generous.
Oh, thank you, Jeff. We really do appreciate it. Thank you so much.
The regularity of your support diminishes nothing of our gratitude, I assure you. We are so grateful. And it is so useful, and it helps us so much in all that we're doing and developing the channel and trying to take things to a new level.
Yes.
Which is why we were looking at cupboards, because Caroline's trying to take her art channel to a new level, having now decided that we are occupying another room, and Caroline's getting a studio. I told you what happened, didn't I? I got a shed, so Caroline now has a studio.
Well,
and on this floor of the house, the room opposite this is the recording studio and office. But Caroline's having an art studio over there, and she's got one gap left. And she was just eyeing up another cupboard from this room, thinking, "Oh, I wonder if that would fit in there."
So anyway, thank you for joining us. This is Mudlarking Happy Hour, which is mostly related to mudlarking. We've got some questions coming up. We have got some finds coming up. And also, there is going to be some really great chat coming up. I'm pointing there. That's where I can see the chat. And I know that because there's always great chat. If you're new to the live shows, don't feel shy. Just jump on in with any conversation because everybody's lovely.
Yeah, and we got over 90 in to start, so we're doing well, and I will stop wiggling my chair. I can tell.
I'm going to start the show with a nag.
I'm psychic. I got that look in, and she's thinking, he's wiggling on that chair again. I can't help it. I'm terrible.
Right, let's have a look at who's first in. Now, I know we do have a big Labrador called Oscar watching us as well, but Oscar wasn't first in. But hello, Oscar. Sit. Did he sit?
Would you like me to try and predict? Oh, Jill. Thank you, Jill.
Oh, Jill, thank you.
for a rope ladder to get paddling down from. I thought it was a rope ladder for me to take with me on Mudlark so that you don't have to climb trees.
Yes.
But doesn't he look nonchalant? I thought he looked really nonchalant there. He was quite happy because we've got a new teddy in tonight. You know, for those who hadn't noticed, new teddy. So up went our
Paddlington, and so if you spotted, he moved. So thank you ever so much, Jill. We really do appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, and also to lift Manky out of the pot. Oh, he thought he looked quite trendy.
He likes it in his teapot. It's his little den.
It is indeed. So it's all happening. But the new bear, this bear here, was waiting down a balloon when we arrived.
For the bling bear. Ooh.
For those who are not aware, it will be. I'll wait until the bear stops performing because no one can see me. No one can see me talking. Right, sit there. Sit.
Stay.
On the 26th of September, it'll be our anniversary, our 40th wedding anniversary. So our eldest and 2 of our grandchildren sent us on a early anniversary holiday, which is why it was a not live show. And when we arrived in our room, we were overwhelmed and delighted and shocked. Caroline went on up to the room. By the time they got up the cases, she said, prepare yourself for a shock, because this little bear was sat on the bed holding a very nice helium balloon, which is now deflated. But also in the room, I'll just bring into shot, was this, which is not deflated and is still floating, with happy 40th anniversary Granny and Grandad and 3 kisses. And that is still going strong a week after it was
that one's a bit floppy.
Put in our room. So there we go. That has been decorating our room at the hotel for 6 days. And has come back with us in the car.
He was done dead posh as well. They'd made the towels into a heart and they'd filled it with rose petals. Now, confession here, okay, this is how dull I am. I thought, those rose petals, you could smell the rose petals, and I thought, I'm going to press those and I'm going to make something to remember this by. I thought it was so lovely. And I pressed them all, and the few that were left didn't seem to die.
No, they weren't
and I
real.
realised they were false. So I got some lovely pressed false rose petals.
Yes, but we still got the
I didn't
balloon.
know.
And on the other one, there was congratulations or something, and you got the lettering to go into a journal, hadn't you?
Yes, I picked the lettering off the balloon when it died. And I got some pink feathers out of it as well. They put pink feathers in that one.
And it almost made being delayed by traffic for 2.5 hours on the motorway worth it. That I learned afterwards that the balloons had only just arrived before us. So they would have arrived after us if it wasn't for the delays. But because the staff saw the balloons going in, as Caroline said, they got 2 bath sheets, made a heart, filled it with petals, and put 2 cappuccino powders and 2 bars of chocolate on there for us.
Really
and wrote a little
done,
card from the staff of the hotel wishing us a happy anniversary, which was great because we're really milking this anniversary because we're having a month-long celebration because the actual event is next month.
Yes, what's the date today?
It's the 28th, is it? 28th.
Right,
so it's
less than a month now.
Yeah, well, it's on the Sunday, so it's 4 weeks tomorrow.
Now, we will be having a big show on the evening of the 25th.
Which is the evening previous, because we'll be here with you, celebrating our anniversary.
Yes, if you're going to be dressing up,
best.
we're going to wear something nice. If you're going to be dressed up or wear a silly hat or something, and you'd like to send us in a photograph, send it in and we'll show it on the night. And also, if you're having any nice snacks or cakes, you could always send a picture of that in too.
I may be dropping you completely in it now because I don't know how things work on the technical side. But do we have the picture there of Mike and Lisa?
We do.
Because Mike and Lisa Sage celebrate their Ruby wedding anniversary, 40 years together, and they actually celebrated it a couple of weeks ago. It was on Sunday the 8th of August.
Right, let's see if we got sound and photograph. I'm not sure.
Let's have a look.
No. Yep. There you are, you can talk as well.
Oh, there we go.
I tell you.
So there's the picture of Mike and Lisa, who thoroughly confused me by saying that they went to Ottawa for their anniversary. They had a holiday as well, and they said that's 7 hours from London. And I thought, I've never heard of Ottawa, and I didn't know you could go 7 hours from London and stay in Britain. And then I realised they're in a different London, because of course they're Canadian. So they're down in Canada, but they were sharing. Now Mike's mum was born in Wales, so they've got a Welsh connection, and they're the same age as ourselves, and they're celebrating their 40th, and of course they're part of our family year on YouTube. So it was great to see their picture and to wish them congratulations, somewhat belated, but as you all know, I was 3 weeks behind with my comments. I caught them all up. First 2 days away, I just crashed out, did nothing, and did comments, because that was a complete break from what I usually do for a living. And I spent 2 days, caught up on all the comments and answered the emails and downloaded the photographs. So we are 2 weeks behind, wishing them all the best. Yeah. But we've caught up with things. Life had got busy.
Yes.
It had got very, very busy.
I've sorted out that person now. They're in timeout. So hopefully they won't be back. Apparently they're in timeout for 300 seconds. If not, I'll see if I can ban them. Right,
we haven't got any spanners in, have we?
No spanners in tonight. The first 3 people into the chat tonight, now there's no surprise. I always click on go live and within seconds, usually, not every time, but usually Adam's Advanced Adventures is first. And well done, Adam, first again. Followed hot on the heels by All the Glitters. And third place was West Country Mudlark. So well done, the 3 of you, for being the first 3 in. Right. So then,
on that person, it gives me the option to block.
Yes.
Want to do that?
There we go. Oh, Phil's getting very technical now. Okay. Yeah. Right then, so let's have something a little bit Mudlark related.
Mike sent us a bunch of arts.
Oh, so thank you, Mike.
And I assume that, although it says Mike's age there, that after 40 years together, they're probably watching as a couple.
Yes. Hopefully. Not necessarily. One could be in work and one at home.
So, what are you doing?
Right, I'm going to show you one of my finds.
I tell you what.
And I'm going to show you, I love big chunky things.
That's why she married me. I'm a big chunky thing. I wasn't this big and chunky when we met, but
you were tiny when we met. 28-inch waist Phil had. He was so thin that if I cuddled him, he laughed because it tickled his ribs. I was so bony.
I was still 6 foot tall, though.
Oh yes, very long and stringy. You're not now.
No.
You're a lot thinner than you were.
I am.
You get rather large at one point.
I've lost 3 stone and I'm still going down.
I've lost about 100 stone.
Yeah.
Because I lose a stone, he comes back, and I lose a stone, he comes back. One day I might actually lose it and it'll stay off. Right. So this is my big fat chunky jar. Look, it reminds me of a lantern. You could actually put a candle in there and you could put a rope on there and carry it, and I think it would make a really nice lantern. But the colour's nice. It's a shame it's a bit what they call sick because it's rough here. But let's see if I can show you. There's a little bit of, I can't quite tell what it says. I think it's just some sort of, what do you call it?
Oh, it's a
registration number or patent number or something on the bottom. So there's nothing I can find any information on. But I would guess, if I had to guess, then I would say probably a malt bottle.
Quite possibly.
That's what I think.
Quite possibly. Spoonful of malt off Gran.
Oh, it's just so big and chunky. Look at that. Ooh.
And my first find is, I did say, if this doesn't turn up on the live show on Saturday night, you know it didn't make it and it broke. Because we picked this up and it has a whopping crack right down it. The bag was already full when we picked it up. But I carried it back and it not only survived the journey, but also it survived being washed. It's not terribly clean. I was a bit sort of nervous washing it, but I just love the shape on that. It's reminiscent of the Esso bottle I found. It's got that very sort of 1930s sort of architectural look to it. But it did survive. Even with the crack, it made it back. So there we go. The bottle got you. What was in it? I've no idea. Perhaps somebody out there knows. It's on the back panel that's broken. It's plain glass and it's flat. But these are what's the word for it? They shaped in. They go in like a V, don't they? I can't imagine what the word. Concave, is it?
Yes, I suppose so.
On 3 sides.
No, it's not rounded.
And there's a line down there, and then it creates a V shape at the top and bottom. And then it's got this architectural shape in here with the pattern around that edge.
I'd imagine a paper label went on the front bit because
possibly,
it's smooth.
Yeah, the paper label down there. So, but a nice bottle. I liked it. I decided that even though I was well overloaded, then it was worth the effort, and it got back. And as I've said, cracks and breaks have never stopped me collecting things.
Well, Rachel said, if it's sick, it's bad. If it's patina, you can charge twice the price. Good point.
Does that mean this has got patina?
This has got patina then.
What about this?
Oh, this has definitely got patina.
Here's one with patina, folks. Look at this.
Not one for somebody who hasn't had a tetanus injection.
I tell you what, that took some getting in the sink when I washed it.
Fair play for Tom.
Yes.
He carried that most of the way. Phil was the one who appeared on camera with it, but Tom carried it over all the uneven ground, over the slopes. He was marvellous.
I carried it back to the car, which was about a quarter of a mile down the hill, but that was on the pavement.
Yes.
But fair play to Tom. He said, if you want it, I'll carry it. I said, Tom, I don't know that I want it enough to ask someone else to carry it when I can't carry it myself. I'll carry it. And carry it he did. And we got it back to the car and we brought it home. And now we just have to decide, what do you do with a rather large blue and white enamel panel that's got big rusty holes in it?
I love it though. I'm going to find something to do with it because it's just, I don't know what it is about it. I just love it.
There we are. She loved it. So, between us, we got it back and we got it here. Do you want a question?
Oh, wait a minute. Lexi's mum has said, hello, Lexi's mum again, from the front of a fireplace and would have had a surround around it. Ooh. Right, thank you. There we go. Because we were trying to decide what it was, because sometimes you get a tiled back on like washstands and things, but we didn't think it was for that. Right then.
Well, it could even be in front of a fireplace. It could be an enamelled flat hearth, couldn't it?
Yep.
Because it's that size.
Well, Christina said you could hang that in your shed. Ed said put it in the shed. Charlotte's with me. It's fantastic. Thank you, Charlotte. A splashback in the studio. Now, I was wondering about that. I've got a gap where my desk ends and there's a shelf, and I didn't know what to put there, and I'm torn now between putting, have you seen these like wire racks and you can hook things on, cups to put things in and little containers, or whether to put that. I don't know which one I'm going to go for yet.
Because down the shed, I already have an 8-foot by 2-foot photograph in the shed. So I have to keep as much room as possible for shelving, because I have a couple of sheds full of stuff to go in that shed.
Now Fee said you could use it as a magnetic board for the shed. So you could stick things to it with magnets.
There we go. Because it's definitely metal. You can tell by the amount of rust. Do you want a question?
Yes, let's have a question.
It's 20 past.
Now you've got to stop being so interesting. I keep reading the conversations going on.
I'm going to totally confuse myself now by doing the questions in the order of the things we're showing rather than the way they're written. Because question number 4 is about enamel. So I'm going to go for number 4.
And you knew that was question number 4. And
no,
you pointed at the enamel.
No, I'd forgotten. I'd forgotten what order they were in. So there we go.
Can't get the stuff.
So we're going to ask you an enamel-related question. Ooh. Are you ready, folks?
Brace yourselves.
The earliest known enamels are rings, and they date back to the 13th century BC. That's a dickens of a long time ago. That's nearly 3,500 years ago people were making enamel. Clever lot. But in the 3rd century AD, there were warriors who used enamel on their swords and shields.
Very posh.
Were those warriors Chinese, Roman, or Celt? So A, Chinese warriors used enamel, B, Roman warriors were using enamel, or C, the Celtic warriors were using enamel in the 3rd century AD.
This was a long time ago, and I guessed it right. I'm not going to tell you what I guessed just yet. A. Stewart said, just recently subscribed to the channel, so it's lovely to see you, Caroline Lol. It's always you, wellies. Yes, I don't very often appear on a video.
99% of the time, Caroline has the camera. She's taking the footage, because Caroline does all the editing, etc. I collate it all together for you, and then you edit it. So I give it all titles. Because sometimes on a shoot... the last one we did, there were 72 pieces of film. So I just simply watch them all and give them a 4 or 5 word title, so Caroline's got something to work off, and then she does everything else. But because Caroline's done the filming, she's able to edit faster, whereas if she was editing stuff I filmed, which she does occasionally, it makes it an even longer process, and it's already half a day. So Caroline's often behind the camera, but of course in front of camera on live show.
Right, so there's the winner.
You think so, yeah?
I think so. Now, these winners are dependent on our screen, because not everybody's screen is the same, sorry. So the only way we can decide it is to go on what's on our screen. So if we got it wrong, sorry, we don't mean to. Have you got it?
Yeah.
It's been a little bit...
yeah, I'll mention that now. I'll mention that.
Right, there you go. So you've got that, so I can go to the bottom now. So I got to look for
who else was on.
Right then. Random RJ Awesome said Caroline does the hard work then.
Yes. Most definitely. Caroline is the brains of the organisation. There's no denying this. She is. It's not that I'm not intelligent. I certainly am.
And endlessly modest.
Yes, intelligent and modest. In fact, I consider myself more modest than intelligent.
I would say, oh yes, definitely. I'd agree with you there.
We have this discussion from time to time. No, I'm not putting myself down, but in fairness, when it comes to this side of it, Caroline has... I can't think of the word.
I don't know what you're saying. What do I have? A big nose?
No, you have...
A bad habit of...
What did you get in college?
Oh, HND.
Tony, Caroline has a high national diploma, and she did that at college, and she was studying...
I didn't though, I did digital imaging.
But
I didn't do editing.
No, you didn't do editing, but you were working with computers, learning shortcuts. I'm useless when it comes to this thing.
Well, when I first started doing videos, because we were Celtic traders then, and we were doing eBay reselling videos, I didn't even know how to cut either end off the video. It was really bad, and you could see me fumbling with the camera to turn it on and fumbling to turn it off. And every now and then I'd do something, I'd press a button and everything would disappear. And I'd have to ring my son, who lived about an hour away. This is tech support him. Say, Tim, everything's disappeared. He'd say, don't panic. Control Z is your friend. Whatever you've done, just press Control Z. and it magically reappeared. So Phil now is slowly learning video editing, and I always say to him, Control Z is your friend. If you get it wrong, Control Z, it'll bring it all back. Oh, Mike, thank you. $10 Canadian super chat.
Oh,
Lisa and I love your channel. Oh, thank you so much, Mike. That's really kind of you. Thank you. Well, thank you both. Thank you, Lisa, as well.
But can I just say, Mike, that it's so kind of you, but I still haven't forgiven you for buying your wife a car for your 40th anniversary. Oh. Come on, mate. Stop setting the bar so high, will you? You know, at the end of the day, you could have said that you just bought her a bunch of flowers. Right. No, I get a photograph of the car that he bought her.
Well, I think it was really sweet, really thoughtful. I love the idea that my husband could buy me a car for our 40th.
All joking aside, Mike, thank you for that, mate. Really great. And when we get to Canada, we look forward to meeting you.
Are you going to buy me a car?
Yes, dear.
Thank you. For our anniversary?
Yes, dear. I did a service this week for a family, and I did the husband's service 5 years ago, and I did the lady this week, and we commented in both services that the husband was very strong-minded. He had clear ideas and everything else, and he was very fixed in his opinions on things. And the dear wife said to me, she said, but I always had the last word, and I always said yes, dear. And as I pointed out in the funeral, any man in this room who thinks when the wife says yes, dear, she's agreeing with you, you really need to learn fast.
Phyllis said, remember, Phil, you said recently on a video that you were born confident.
I say all sorts of things. Anyway, we'd better get back to this question, hadn't we?
Have we done the answer yet? I can't even remember.
No, we haven't. No, actually, the answer is... Hang on, what's that?
Lynette said, you're coming to Canada, no plans at the moment. We would love to. I love travel. It's the one thing, if somebody said to me, what do you want to spend the rest of your life doing? It would be travel. So, yes, I'd love to get to Canada. I'd love to travel across the States, seeing all the different...
Our hope is, at some point, we want to go and do America and Canada as a tour.
If we've flown all the way over there, we might as well, we thought, do Canada and America.
Yeah,
that's... No immediate plans.
There's no immediate plans, no, because... things are very upside down in our world, and obviously it's all down to how things go. But we would love to. Let's Go is all about reaching out, seeing the world, travel. It's bigger than just mudlarking for us. Mudlarking has become a very important part at this point of our journey. But for us, it's seeing the world. We want to live in a camper van and tour Europe for a couple of years. We want to travel over to the United States and travel right across the States and up into Canada. These are all dreams we have. And if health is on our side and the good Lord gives us enough years to live it, then we intend to do those things. But so when we get out to America, we hope to meet some of our friends.
Rachel said, if you come to Canada, we are I can't even speak straight tonight. We are right across the river in Michigan. Come beachcombing with us. Oh, there we go. We've got our first beachcombing trip planned.
Right there. I achieved my purpose in fooling so many of you with this one, because I did expect a lot of people, one, to go Chinese because they are so prolific in their art forms and they are so ahead of us. That's why I was specific about the date and the time, the 3rd century AD. I thought others would be caught out on the idea of soldiers and the armour being the Romans, whereas actually it was the Celts who in the 3rd century were decorating not only their swords and shields but also the harnesses on their horses. They'd learned to use enamel, and they were beautifying their weapons, the warriors were, with enamel. So the correct answer was the Celts, which means technically we have to award the first position to Big Dov. But in fairness, he said A, then he said B, and then he said C, and he did them so fast that he actually got in his A, his B, and his C before anyone else got an answer in. So
you've been naughty again.
So I've got a sneaky feeling that he didn't actually know it was the Celts, even though he's a Celt himself. But, so there we go. Big Dov is top of the tree, but if you give us all 3 answers on the next one, mine, I'm going to demote you. So there's your warning. But then coming in second is All That Glitters.
Well done.
And then third is Fee in the Shed.
Well done, Fee.
So, and a special mention for Louise Gearin, because if Big Dov hadn't done ABC, she'd have
she'd
been on the third
so
podium.
congratulations
So
to you.
I'm giving 4 this time. And Lynn Bean, you weren't far out because you were next on the list with the correct answer. A couple of Celts thinking it was the Celts.
Linda Peterson said, come to New Zealand. Now, I'd love to do, again, if you've done all that flying, you might as well do a lot. So I would love to do Australia, New Zealand and Fiji. Oh, sounds amazing. I could spend my life on holidays.
Now, this is not a pipe dream. This is a possibility because it's happened for others. But if the channel was to take off, then we would take off. I'm telling you now, if this channel, suddenly picked up, like at the moment, we're thrilled. We're heading for 6,000 subscribers. But if we ever 10x that, then we would not be at home.
Oh, you lot will be coming round with us
We
everywhere.
would be going around the world.
Yes.
If we 10x that, then we're going around the world, and we would be, let's go with the Johnsons, and you would know where we're going to turn up next. Caroline wants to see the blossom in Japan. We want to see the Niagara Falls. We want to do New York for Christmas.
I'm not tempted, mind, by one of those capsule hotels in Japan. I don't know if any of you have ever been in them. But what worries me is, what if you get a snorer? Now, Phil snores. And the best way to stop Phil snoring is to roll him over and
put a pillow over his head.
That would work. But we've been together so long now, I've only just got to go like that. He rolls over on his own. He's like a dog. He's trained.
I'm
trained. It used to be trying to push him. But I think, if I was in one of those capsule hotels and they're just like thin plastic walls, and you could have 3 or 4 loud snorers, well, I'd just get up and go for a walk because I wouldn't be able to sleep. So I'm not tempted by a capsule hotel.
And our local Celt has just turned up. Sorry he's late. Hiya, Rufus. Great to have you with us, mate. Great to have you with us.
Oh, Rachel said you could always visit somewhere exotic and visit me in Barrow-in-Furness, lol. It's a seaside town. Oh, do you know I never realised that Barrow-in-Furness was a seaside town? You probably heard me say this before, that the only way I remember Barrow-in-Furness is Chewits. Even chewier than the bus station at Barrow-in-Furness. That's how I remember it. I have a strange mind. But I never really thought about where it was. I imagined it was inland. So we may well put Barrow-in-Furness on our little itinerary one day.
Let's go to the Johnsons. 3 words. Noise cancelling headphones. Not sure what.
Oh, right, for the capsule hotel. Good point. That would do the trick, wouldn't it? Perhaps I could wear them at home.
Anyway, we better look at another thing.
Should we have another question? It's 1:30. We've only done one question.
No, this is Mudlarking, so we're going to do a find first.
We're having so much fun
There
tonight.
we go. I'm going to give you a matching brother to the other bottle. Another very lovely bottle. Look, that one got back as well. I found that one as well after
Same
the thing was
sort of
full.
texture-y.
That's the
Could
bottle.
strike a match on that.
I don't know if Caroline left it in the edit. That's the one Caroline said. Really nice bottle, but far too big for us to carry.
I can't remember. I saw so many bottles in the edit, and so many bottles didn't make the edit.
So there we go. That one got back as well. Another nice bottle. Slightly different shape, but I think similar era, similar style. So there we go, folks. One for you to see.
Sheila T said, it's gone, it's moved. Caroline's hair is almost as long as that on the statue of Lady Godiva in Coventry. Well, I'm not going to try it and see if it covers up the essentials. Keep my clothes on. Yes.
If you show your OXO bottle, then that'll lead into the first question, which is now the second question, just to confuse things.
Right, okay, then it's this one, isn't it?
That's the one, my dear. Yep, we were watching one of Tom's and we were saying, Tom's always finding OXO. We've never found OXO. And this time we found OXO. There we go. One OXO bottle.
In really good condition. There's some scratches on it, but pretty good condition, that one. No chips or dings or cracks.
Find lots of Bovril. In fact, you got a large Bovril there, is it?
I do. You want to see my... It's not as big as... Did you see the 16-ounce one on the video?
It was broke.
It was beautiful, but it broken.
Yeah. And
so this one's an 8-ounce.
We occasionally find Marmite. We often find Bovril, but we've never found an OXO previously, but we did this time.
If they were the same size, I could put them on my head like that and pretend I got buns.
Yeah, you look like Mickey Mouse, wouldn't it? Cheap Mickey Mouse outfit.
Now, there's a thought. I could paint them black and sell them as Mickey Mouse shoes.
Yeah, I tell you what, you make a fortune.
Oh, right. Anyway,
would you like to click the thing for the question?
Sorry.
Sorry, folks. Question come in.
That's not a question.
Oh, we've gone.
We're back. We're on to question. There we go.
It's all going wrong tonight. Okay. Sorry if I get any of the pronunciations wrong in this, but the guy's dead anyway, so we're all right.
Oh, it's the one with the...
Justice... No, that guess comes later.
There's one that's really bad.
Justice Liebig invented concentrated meat extract in 1840. And in 1866, the company named after him, Liebig Extract and Meat Company, started selling the liquid, the viscous liquid form containing the meat extract and 4% salt. But then in 1899, the company introduced a new trademark, OXO. Now, there's speculation as to where it came from, and nobody's for sure, but they think it may be related to the idea of an ox, and that may be where it came from. Anyway, the reason they introduced OXO was to produce a cheaper version of their product. It was the cheap. They had an expensive product they wanted to sell to the masses, so they created OXO. What event did the company sponsor in 1908, which was 2 years before the very first OXO cube was produced? Was it the 1908 FA Cup? Was it the 1908 Olympics? Or was it the 1908 Wimbledon Tennis Championships? Which did OXO sponsor as an advertising campaign? What do you think it was, folks? Do you think it was A, the FA Cup, B, the Olympics, or C, Wimbledon?
I guess this one right. Hello, Polishek. Nice to see you. Right, so we've got a right answer in. Can you see it? It's this on mine. Why am I pointing to Phil's? I can't see anything with my glasses.
Yeah, I concur.
You got it? Oh, we're concurring. Bit of excitement. Live concurring. Sheila said, just give us plenty of warning if you do plan to cut your gorgeous locks so we won't be shocked. Well, I don't know what to do. I hate going to the hairdressers. So at one point I thought, I'm just going to let it go down my back and ignore it. But it's so dry now. So I think, well, if I'm going to have a haircut, I might as well have my money's worth and go really short. So I don't know. One day I'll turn up and I'll be bald. Number 4 all over. That'll be good. Anyway, do we have some winners?
We do. We have lots and lots of answers, and a lot more correct answers in the early stages this time. I caught people out last time, but I haven't been so successful this time.
Right.
Quite a number got the right answer on this occasion, because it was actually the Olympics. The Olympics in 1908 were in London. And OXO sponsored the games and gave free OXO drinks to all the athletes in order to improve their vitality and performance while taking part in the games, which was a massive promotion. And then 2 years later, they launched the OXO Cube, which was cheaper to produce. That was their main reason for producing it. It was cheaper because they didn't have to do the jars, they didn't have to do all the bottling. Also, it was much easier for people to use, because I should imagine getting the last bit out of the bottle was pretty tricky. So the cubes came out 2 years later, but it was the Olympic Games. They sponsored the Olympic Games. I tell you what, I am impressed by how some of these companies over 100 years ago were coming up with things. The other week we were looking at the guy who owned the baby formula company, and he sponsored the very first airship to fly over London. And now we've got OXO sponsoring the games. So the idea of big business mixing with events and the sort of clever ways to get yourself in the news, rather than pay for space in the newspaper. This is one of Richard Branson's things. He always said, why pay for newspaper space when you can just make a story that gives you coverage all over? And that's what they did. So, who was top of the tree?
Catherine said, why not put in Princess Leia buns?
There we go.
That's all I can do because I got no clips.
Top of the tree we've got Adam's Advanced Adventures Mudlarking with an anchor.
Well
done, Adam. Next, West Country Mudlarks.
Well done.
And the person who got on the rostrum shared the third rostrum, because we had a special last time. Has got a third rostrum all of their own, because the bronze goes to Louise.
Well done, Louise.
Louise Guerin. And there we go. So Adam's at the top, West Country Mudlarks in the middle, Louise coming third. And if you haven't watched either Adam or West Country Mudlarks channels, have a look, folks. They're producing brilliant videos and well worth the watch. I don't think Louise has her own channel. If you do, Louise, you let me know and I'll give you a shout out too.
Lynette says, my hair goes past my bottom. Oh, there was a girl in school with me called Diane Osborne, and her mother, every year I think, she used to cut her hair in the spring, and that would grow right down. Her hair grew so quickly, and I was always so jealous because my mother never trimmed my hair, but it never got very long anyway, just about mid-back level, and then it just stopped there. So, I'm quite jealous of your long hair. Random said, doping on a sponsorship scale. So what did it do for them? It increased their what? Vitality and
stamina.
So if we have an oxo-cube in water before the show, we'd have more stamina and vitality.
I should have one before Mudlark so I can climb trees. Can I just say bye to James? James, great to have you with us. He's got a long day tomorrow. He wishes us a fantastic week. Thanks for a great show. Catch up with it later in the week. Thank you. Great to have you with us, James. Again, James, another guy working hard out there in the rivers and creating videos. So check out James's channel as well. But good night, James, and we'll see you later in the week when you're watching us. If you don't catch us on YouTube, you'll catch us over on Ko-fi because that's where they all go.
A few people saying if I have my hair cut, I should donate it. Apparently they don't take hair if it's been dyed, and mine's been dyed within an inch of his life. The bottom should have probably been dyed 20 times, so I don't think anybody'd want it. What I am thinking of doing if I do cut it is try making my own paintbrushes with it. Sounds crazy, but they do hair paintbrushes, don't they? So I thought I could paint with my hair. I didn't need to cut it, do I? I could paint like that. That would be interesting. I don't know, interesting is the word. Weird, yeah. Anyway, what's next? Another find. Next? Let's have another find.
Yes.
You got a find?
Do you want to get a find? You have a find. While you're getting your find, I'll just answer West Country Mudlarks. They're saying thank you for the mention. Not at all. To be honest, the channel, the work you're putting in and the effort you're making, it is not reflected in the numbers you've got at the moment. And I believe if only the people that watch us came over and watched you, you double your subscribers. I'm convinced of that, and that's what we hope to help you do. And as soon as we're back on the coast, I hope to give you a shout out on one of our main videos, because that gets far more coverage, because you're working hard, you're producing some good stuff. So I hope the folks check you out. I'm sure many of them already have, but it'll be great if we can get the numbers going. Oh, you've got
Rachel said, could make my hair into a toupee for Manky. Let's have a look. My hair's a very big topic on this show tonight. Sorry,
it is.
Not into hair.
I know, it's turning into a fashion mudlarking show. There we go.
There we go. That's what Manky would look like. Oh, it's not very good. I can't see what I'm doing.
Do you want me to do it?
Manky. I can't do it.
You go away. You go stand over there.
I'll just donate my hair.
You just donate your hair, and me and Manky will get it sorted.
Treat me like a plaything. I don't mind.
There we go. There's Manky with his golden locks. How's that, folks? What do you think? Do you think that's an improvement? Woo!
Give me my hair back.
Anyway, what were you doing?
Manky?
Were you doing a find? Yes, you were.
Yes, I was.
Go on, then.
Of course I was doing a find. Look! That is the most heart-shaped heart rock I've ever found. And it's not only is it heart-shaped, it's almost stylized. You know, it's sort of got that, this tight, this rounder that side and a bit more slopey that side. I just really like that. So I was pleased when I saw that, just lying there shouting, pick me, pick me. So I picked him and brought him home.
Although it was 5 weeks before our anniversary, our 40th wedding anniversary, it was on our anniversary holiday off the children. So it's nice that you got a heart-shaped stone. I'm sure I will be able to find something suitable to do with that down in the shed and bring it back up, and we can have it on display then as our anniversary heart.
Good. Leave it to the teapot.
Maybe
For
not.
now.
For now. Put it there.
In a pile.
Just before we go to a question, I'll show you a couple of nice colourful finds. There we are. That cleaned up rather well, I thought. If I can hold it close enough, perhaps you can get a bit more detail on it.
No, you're going to get there. Try going in and then pulling back out again. There we go. I thought it would be a lady or something on it because of the style. I can't see one. I think it's just random.
Yeah, it's just patterned.
Bits.
There's some lovely colours in it. Some lovely colours. I'm sure we'll be able to formulate something out of it. It can be a contributor to some artistic creation. Whether I can do something with this, I don't know, but it warranted bringing home and washing up in order that you could just hopefully catch the lustre and colours in that.
Carnival glass, I think, isn't it? We call it. I can never remember if it's Fiesta or Carnival, but I'm pretty sure it's Carnival glass.
There's so many colours in that. It's a bit like when you tip petrol on the floor, isn't it? You get that all the colours come through. So that was a beauty, and I just thought, well, even if it's not of any further use, it was worth bringing just to show under the light.
See the pattern on the back.
There we go.
There we go.
Right, shall we have a question?
I'll try to get the right jingle this time.
That'd be helpful. Righto, folks. This one is related to the video, as they all are, but not related to a particular find. It's related to the activities of Tom and myself in trying to get up a banking. Yes. Via a tree.
I was the only sensible one there.
Yes, and Caroline made reference to the fact that my efforts in no way reminded her of Tarzan. It's a geriatric version of Tarzan and the Apes. So I have a Tarzan related question, just as a tribute to perhaps Tom's efforts rather than mine.
Yes, he was more Tarzan-like than you were.
He was far more gazelle-like than I was, yes. In fairness. Right. The novel Tarzan of the Apes, written by Edgar Rice Burroughs, was published in 1912. But in which year was the first film adaptation released? Was it 1918, 1928, or 1938? The book was written in 1912. The first film, was it A, 1918, B, 1928, or C, 1938? What do you think, folks?
I got this one completely wrong.
What do you think? Do you think we're talking 1918, 1928, or 1938? Where are you at?
Right, we got our first answer in there.
Uh-huh.
Okay, we got it?
Yeah.
There we go, so I can go down to the bottom. Ooh, look at all these answers coming in. Yeah, I thought I'd made a very sensible guess, and then Phil goes, no, wrong.
You made a very sensible guess here, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Out of the 15 first answers, I had to get 15 first answers before I got 3 correct. So you weren't on your own. No. You weren't on your own, so there we go. So where was it? Was it 1918? Was it 1928? Or was it 1938? Caroline went for a later date, didn't you, dear?
I did. I went for the 30s.
Yes, because people are thinking of the ones they've seen on TV. But obviously there are those out there who are aware that there was a silent movie version of Tarzan and the Apes. And it was made in 1918, just 6 years after the book was put out. So I wonder what they did,
because when he used to make that noise, then what did they do? Did they play the piano in a sort of type sound?
Perhaps they had a man in the audience. You know, the guy who was playing the piano, perhaps he went, ah.
Yeah, and pounded his chest for the
Who knows? But it was 1918.
Know, just as an aside, we had a friend called Old Bill, and he used to play the piano for the silent movies in the cinema.
Yes, in Bargate. He did indeed.
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, they used to send the score through and used to play the music. Okie dokie. It was 1918. It was just 6 years after the first novel was published. The story was actually put into the newspapers previous, but then it was put into a book in 1912. He published 24 stories in total of the stories of Tarzan, and the first film was in 1918, and it was a silent movie.
Big Dog was saying, thanks, Alexa. I was just thinking, I wonder now, when we're asking these questions, are your Alexas and your Siris picking up on our questions? If I said, I shouldn't do this, should I say, hey Siri, what's the time? I wonder if you're all hearing and say, the time is... Sorry, I'll behave myself now. Right then. Was the silent movie narrated by apes? Possibly. Not that I've heard of. Right then.
We can say that, I tell you what, is really in the Olympic mood tonight because Adam's Advanced Adventures has come on top form again. He's got the gold position. Followed by Christina Hine.
Well
who was also, and then I've got to scroll down for the next correct answer, which I believe was written. Somebody actually wrote 1918, and it was Rachel.
Well done, Rachel.
Rachel, Remy.
Well done.
There we go. So it's Adam, Christina, Rachel.
It worked. Sorry, Mum. I activated Siri on Mum's iPad. Lexi's mum.
There we go.
Sorry.
So there we go. What else we got? This is pretty. When it comes to colours, there's not a lot of it.
Oh, just a second. Linda Hardy said, read me. Caroline and Phil, they dubbed in a weird yell sound. I watched it recently.
There we go. Right, can I now show a find? This is a Mudlarking show, you know.
Oh, wait a minute.
This is turning into blinking talk radio.
Richard Serrage said, Caroline, say, OK Google. OK Google, what time is it? And I promise that's the last one.
There we go. Well, while Caroline's setting off everybody's OK Googles and Siris and everybody else, look at the colours in that. That must have been a very cracking, beautiful tile when it was whole. So only that piece we found. I did have a look. There was no more of it there. Even though the break was relatively clean. So I don't think it had broken that long ago. But some lovely texture and colours mixed in there. Quite unusual. I like that.
All the glitter said it's 9:46 apparently. And Christina said, yeah, worked here.
Yeah. Just in case you think I lost my touch, I still have my scrap.
Oh, yes.
There we go. My handlebar moustache. It's very nice, isn't it?
Very nice is personal.
I'm sure there must be a use for it. I'm sure I'll find a use for that. If I hook that over a cup hook and then hang something from there, see? And it'll make it interesting. Yes, dear. That's what you say. Yes, dear.
Yes, dear.
There we go.
Right. Where are we now? Shall I show you? I'll show you my bit of metal. No, I know it's not. I don't even think it's that old. I think it's off. I don't know. Perhaps a runner on a floor of a car or something. Not a runner. You know, you open the door. Is it the footwell they call it? I don't think it is. And there's like a strip, and anyway, they put a bit of metal on there. I think it's probably something like that. But I really like it. So I'm going to stick that on the front of a journal. I'll have to straighten it off first. But because it's been in the ground for a while, I think it's some sort of alloy because it didn't rust. But it's not sharp on the edges. So there we go. My weird find that I love.
There we have another beautiful find. Isn't that a cracker?
No, it's a jug.
No, look. It's a cracker. Still haven't been glued together, but I've given it a bit of a clean up so that you can see the full effect of the flower. There you go. So that's one for the shed. That's going to be a repair job, but beautiful colour of its time, and I'm sure I'm going to find a way to utilise that. You know, that'll look great on a plinth. It's going to have a plinth because it ain't got a base. But only managed to find 2 bits, but it did make a dramatic difference. Although I had to climb all the way up that banking, and I should have been climbing down, not up. It did make a difference to have that extra piece, didn't it? That really did transform it. So I'm pleased with the piece I found. I would love to have found another 3 or 4 bits. But I have got one find, which is in a different film, and I think I may have all the bits for a find there, which was larger than this. Not as decorative, but larger than this.
Yes, so that's going to be fun, that one.
That's yet to come. I'll be building that down the shed as well. That'll be included in a movie we'll be making.
Mike said, what about a swing for Manky?
A swing?
Yeah, another handle.
Oh.
And Fee said, I think it's a bricklayer tie. Thank you, Fee. I still think it's pretty because it's got the lines on, so I'll keep that. Random says, all the finds drive me potty. Right.
We do have a few teapots this time, don't we? fair play. We've done quite well on teapots. And these are not all the teapots. They're all the teapots in this particular film, but there are more teapots from other locations that we went to. But let's show you one or two of the teapots.
Hello, Annie from Spain.
There we go. This one cleaned up quite well.
Lovely colour on that.
Caroline found a lid, which is not the correct lid for this teapot, but I think it looks jolly good there on top. And this one has Price Brothers, made in England, and a J underneath. Now I haven't had time to look up all the information about that.
I can take the lid off that and show you the lid. The lid's really pretty.
You show the lid.
There we go.
And see, I used a quarry tile as a plinth.
Oh, look at that.
Plinth.
Phil has now been renamed Plinth Man because he wants to put everything on a plinth.
There we go. There's a brown Betty with no spout. Watch out, Manky, we're going over. And on the bottom it's got made in England, and it's got the number 36. So I'll be looking that up and find out more about that.
Oh, Pamela Duggan said it's 6:50 a.m. Sunday in Tasmania. Wow, that's early. Well done for being up so early.
And this one has a spout, but no handle. But I thought they made quite a nice selection up there. And let me show you my personal teapot.
Well, you do. Sheila said this show is smack in the middle of my day. I have to rush home to watch live and then go out again. Oops.
This box, I was given this in China 10 years ago.
Could be.
Should it be now?
There, yeah.
So 10 years ago I was given this in China as a gift when we attended a wedding of my nephew, and inside the box was this.
Look inside the box, look at that. Wow, it's very bright orange.
And inside was a Chinese teapot. And I use that teapot because here I have Hangzhou tea, green tea, which I make in my teapot. So I am a tea drinker. It's not Yorkshire tea, it's Chinese tea, but I am a tea drinker. But there we go. That was a super special gift, and it does look really lovely in there.
Yes.
It looks like chocolate. It does. It looks like you pour hot water in, it melts. People say, don't they, you're about as much use as a chocolate teapot. Well, that looks like a chocolate teapot, but it's not. But that's my teapot, folks.
Well, Catherine's mom wants to know if Manky lost his wellies when he jumped out of Phil's pocket. No, don't worry. They are. I don't think he's wearing them now, but they are
They
somewhere.
are safe.
The house is a bit of a mess at the moment because I'm moving into a studio. Oh, I've had to move everything out and try to find new homes for it, so we can't find anything at the moment. But I'm getting there.
Do you want a teapot question?
A teapot question. Go on then, let's have a teapot question.
Okay. Arguably.
Did you argue with me?
No, that's what it said in the write-up. It said arguably.
Right.
The first teapot was created in the Jiangsu province of China.
I don't think that's how you pronounce it.
It'll do.
I have no idea how you do.
And that was done in the 1500s. Now, they were drinking tea for millennia before then, but not with teapots. They didn't use teapots, but they began to in this particular province of China. And the early teapots from this region, this is where it gets tricky,
Here we go.
were called, how would you say that?
I would say Shixing, but I could be completely wrong.
Right, well, I'll say Yixing because it's Yixing.
No, JIA is Asia, isn't it? So the first one was Shangsu, I think.
Right, Shangzhou area, and it was this Yixing teapots. Anyway, the question is simply this. What is the colour associated with these early teapots? A, brown, B, purple, or C, red? Do you think it's A, brown, B, purple, or C, red? Which colour is associated with the early teapots from 1500 that were from China? What do you think, folks?
Right, we've had a few answers in before the question went out.
Oh, that's good.
I can see you. And first answer that's right is there.
Right. So
okay. other than the others who were right, but you were a bit early. All right, you got that person? Ooh, lot of answers coming in. This one I was quite surprised about. I got it wrong. You okay? You there?
There it is, huh?
Just have a look.
Yeah.
Yep, that's the one. So I can go now down to the bottom of the chart and see what's going on. Oh, loads of guesses coming in. Right then, Big Dove said Jiangsu. Jiangsu? Right, that's what it is it? I'd like to learn Chinese, but it looks very difficult, and I can't really see an application. We went to China once, and if I was going to spend that sort of money again, I'd go somewhere else, because I've already been to China now, so I think I'm never going to get the reason to learn Chinese, because I do love learning languages. I'm trying to consider what one to learn next. Right then. So the ones at the top came in before the question? Yes. Just a little bit.
Right. So we're going to go with...
Goon Rally said premature interactions, eh? Yes.
Yes, we had a number of answers, and in fairness to Big Dove, he is a creature of habit, because he did do A, B and C again as well before the question had gone out. So he's been disqualified for answering prior to the question, which is not in the spirit of the game, even though it does raise a smile. Yes. So on our adjudicator's decision, which is to accept the first correct answer after the question has been completed, we obviously, if you'd put a colour in before, that's fine. If you'd given the correct colour and actually you knew the colour, we'd let you off. But if you're doing A, B, C and we haven't finished the A, B, C's, so we're going with all the glitters.
Well done, all the glitters.
Because the answer's purple, folks, and we've got to go a long way down to find the next one that said purple.
I was really surprised, because purple's always been seen as a rare colour.
I think there are only 3 correct answers. Well, there's 4, including one that came in first. Lisa Williams is the next one that's got a B. And then, in fairness... No, hang on.
The suspense is killing me.
Yeah, well, I got Big Dove back in with ABC again.
Yeah.
So we'll give you a special mention in dispatches for continuity. I'm looking for. I'm sure there was another one. There was another one. I know there was. I saw it.
Well, Adam wants a purple teapot now. Before Phil gave the list of colours, I was going to say yellow, because I know yellow in Chinese pottery was really sort of posh and very expensive, and only the emperors were allowed it. So that's what was in my mind, but it was completely wrong. Because yellow wasn't even in the choices, was it? No, wasn't even in the choices.
So I can't find a third. Outside of Big Dove who keeps saying
well,
D.
I'll tell you what, you tell the people about how they got the purple teapots, and I'll check to have a look.
Stewart.
Oh, there we go.
A. Stewart. There we go. So it's A. Stewart.
Well done.
And A. Stewart was before Lisa. Sorry, it was a little B, so I missed it. So we've got all the glitters, A. Stewart and Lisa Williams. They got.
Congratulations.
They
that
got
was a difficult one.
But I had to search for correct answers, because I didn't expect anyone to get it, because they didn't have the means for creating the colour purple.
Oh, Linda said purple, apparently.
Right. Whereby?
We've got lots and lots of answers. Let's have a look. I can't see it.
Linda, I said purple. Let's have a look.
Yeah, I can't see it, but maybe it's just not coming up on my screen. So.
Yeah, because the comment from Linda saying I said purple, but I can't find Linda.
No, I can see Ed Creative saying purple, but I can't see it. That's the trouble,
Linda
though.
Peterson,
Our screens sometimes are completely different to your screens. There's not much sense to it. Well, it's like sometimes when we're watching the countdown, Phil is like 15 seconds behind my screen.
I'm really sorry, Linda. On neither of our screens, your answer doesn't come up at all. We don't have an answer from you until you comment saying you said purple. I'm awful sorry about that. But if you did say purple, which we totally accept that you did, well done, because you are in the minority. And I'm not surprised that it's a minority answer, because purple was certainly not a normal colour to be making, but they didn't make purple. What it was, that particular region where they made the teapots, there was purple sand clay. So the sand was already purple that formed in the clay. So when they made the clay, it had a purple colour to it, purely because of the clay. Whereas our clay is naturally a sort of browny, terracotta-y grey colour, theirs had a purple colour to it. So it was a natural phenomena peculiar to that area. And actually that word, Yixing, actually means purple.
Right.
That's what it translates.
Unpronounceable word.
Yeah, it translates purple. So if you'd known your ancient Chinese, you'd have known that. But well done to anyone who got purple, actually, as the answer.
Very difficult.
Because that was not an easy one to get, not by any stretch of the imagination.
Hello, Mudlarker, Arizona. You are a little late. We should actually have finished now. We're running very
Jeff,
late.
Stop being a pain. You generous man.
What's he done?
What made the sand purple? I don't know. Obviously, something.
Well, call yourself an expert.
There's something happening in that area, in the ground, that's creating the purple dye that caused the sand to be purple. I tell you, we've opened a minefield of inquiries now.
I know.
Jeff, that's your homework for next week. Find out why the sand is purple in the Jiangsu area,
sand.
the Jiangsu area of China.
I tell you what, they have the coloured sand over at the Isle of Wight, don't they? You can't go there anymore. You've got to go to the shop where they got the colours. You used to be able to dig the sand, and you've got like a little glass duck or whatever, and you could fill him up with all different coloured sand. So there we go. I probably have seen purple sand, but in a duck or a teddy bear or an Eiffel Tower, something like that.
Indeed. Right, should we go straight to the last question
We
since
really
we're 5 minutes over?
And here we go. No, we're not. That's not us. I tried to rush, but I can't click on it. There we go.
You just can't get the staff.
Oh, it's been a long day. It's been a long day.
Okie doke, folks. Final question of the night. Are you ready? It's a tea-related question, and it's a Yorkshire-related question. Therefore, no prizes for guessing. The question is about Yorkshire tea. If it's grown...
You paused then, I'm like...
If it's grown in 20 different locations across Africa and India, and they don't grow tea in Yorkshire, why is Yorkshire tea called Yorkshire tea?
Could you make it X, Y and Z?
Is it X, it's only sold in Yorkshire? Is it Y, it was blended in Yorkshire? Or is it Z, it was created to suit the particular water that comes out of the tap in Yorkshire? So is it because it was sold in Yorkshire, which is X? Is it blended in Yorkshire, which is Y? Or is it because of the Yorkshire water, which is Z?
Right. Ooh, interesting.
And we're asking for X, Y, Z because
Loads
so
of
many
answers were
people
already
did A,
coming in.
B, C before we started.
Right then, so there's our winner. Interesting. See there?
Yeah, I'm just looking for him now. Yeah.
There we go. Yes, this was another interesting question. That's one thing you never guess from seeing the video the day before what the questions are actually going to be.
But they are all related.
They are related, but very loosely.
And I can assure you, it does take me a significant amount of time on a Saturday to prepare the questions.
It spends about 2 hours on a Saturday getting the questions
I'm going
together.
through the film, looking for things that trigger ideas in my head for the questions. I enjoy doing it, but it's quite an interesting exercise.
Well, a couple of people coming in saying blended by Betty's and Taylor's of Harrogate.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Well done.
You're going to be kicking yourselves now, or me. If you could kick me, you'd be kicking me when I tell you the answer.
Are you spinning on your chair again?
No, it's the chair. It did move.
The whole feels chair still.
They can't tell, look. See, my head isn't moving. It's just my lower
From the
half.
waist down, he's doing
From the waist down, I do
Is
the
it spinning?
dance.
They call
I go
that
back and
exercise.
forth. See, if I let my head go with it, then I'd be doing this. Okay. Right, there, folks. Here we go. Our final question. We've run over by so much time tonight. But the answer is that it was actually called Yorkshire tea because it was specifically designed and blended to suit the water in Yorkshire. Now, before you all start screaming and saying, no, Phil, it was only sold in Yorkshire. Correct. For the first so many years, it was made in the 70s, and for a number of years, it was only sold in Yorkshire because it was blended for Yorkshire water, so it wasn't sold anywhere else. But then it became so popular, they've sold it all over the world. So although it was only sold in Yorkshire, that's not why it was called Yorkshire tea. It was only sold in Yorkshire because it was for Yorkshire water, so where else are you going to sell it? Now, you may have said, as you did, it was blended in Yorkshire. Correct. It was blended in Harrogate in North Yorkshire. But so is their English breakfast tea. So are all the other teas they make. That's not why they named it Yorkshire tea. They make loads of teas. They're all blended in Yorkshire, but it wasn't called Yorkshire tea. So technically you could say I was right because it was sold only in Yorkshire for a time. You could say I was right because it was blended in Harrogate in North Yorkshire. But actually you're wrong, because the reason it was called Yorkshire tea is because at that time regionally the water was different. Now it's so similar. But the regional waters of Yorkshire, they blended this tea specifically.
That was a very long answer.
Wasn't it just Brian? No, they're all out there now going crazy saying, I know it's blended in Yorkshire. So the correct answer for the choice of name was the water in Yorkshire was the ingredient that it was blended to mix with.
Oh, hello, Pilar from Ariba.
So that means with the first Z of the evening, I've got to say Adam's Advanced Adventures have equalled our Paralympic gold medals in the cycling today, because we had 3 gold medals in the cycling this morning, and Adam has picked up 3 gold medals out of 5 questions tonight. Adam, you came first. Second, Ed Creative, and we've seen your name again earlier tonight, Ed. And third, we have Jill Tabor. But in fairness,
well done, this review.
In fairness to everyone, bit of a tricky question because there was an element of truth in all 3. But the actual reason why that blend was put together was in order that the waters of Yorkshire would bring out its flavour.
So there we go.
There we go. Now you know. Well, hope you've enjoyed the evening, folks, as much as we have. We've obviously enjoyed it because we've stayed here for an extra 10 minutes.
10. We've run over, so sorry about that.
Yeah, this show will stay up for the next couple of hours. Then in the morning, I'll move it over, but it'll be open. If you want to watch any live shows or not live shows, they're all over on our Ko-fi page, and they're all free to watch. You don't have to pay anything to go onto the Ko-fi page. You can contribute in Ko-fi, but that's a separate issue. These videos are archived over there because we don't leave them up on this channel as they impede the progress of this week's release that went out last night.
Oh, it's actually doing very well.
Which is doing well. Thank you everyone who's watched it. YouTube have been giving us confetti because it's been our fastest
not
moving
literal confetti. They
out
put
of
it
the
in
last 10 videos that have gone out. This one is rising faster than all the others, which fingers crossed will mean good things for it. But the live show will stay up for tonight for our friends around the world to catch up. Then it'll go on to Ko-fi. But thank you for being with us. There are 132 people with us at the moment. We've had 87 thumbs up.
Oh, thank you. Let's see if we can get 100 before you all go.
I'm
Come
sure
back and give
we
us
will.
a thumbs up.
I'm sure we will. As people are leaving, if you pop a thumbs up on there for us, folks.
Thank you very much if
it
you
would
do.
be lovely for us to hit the 100. It's been a marvellous night. The chat is what makes it. We wouldn't be here if you weren't there.
No.
And that's for sure. But we are here and we will be here next week to be with you again. In the meantime, have a great week. And of course,
until we see you again,
have fun. Bye.